Mic check. Mic check, mic check. What's going on, people? What is going down? We are about to get into it. Doing a little bit of back testing on Mr. Bitcoin today. Haven't quite decided if I want to do these higher time frames or I want to stick to lower time frames. Most likely just going to stick to these lower time frames. I like to find areas. And, today there is a possible trade on Bitcoin I'm going to talk about here in a second. But today I think what I'm going to do is start looking at these higher time frame areas. And then I'm going to break it down into the lower time frames. Maybe not a normal backtesting session, like I go look for trades like I normally do. But we're gonna keep it. We're gonna make it look good. Okay, so let's get into what Bitcoin is doing currently first. And for those that don't know, this is the volume profile. Okay, this is just showing you where the majority of the volume sits. And your volume is more or less your liquidity. Your liquidity is what you need to move the market. If there is no volume, there's no liquidity. So these areas where there just is less volume than there are here, it's basically just comparing and showing you that, hey, there was a lot less volume up here than it was compared to down here for this profile. Now, when you move to the left, you can see that there was a ton of volume here. Okay, so these are yearly profiles. This was the full year of 2021 right here, this box. Now, what this is showing is that the point of control here, this was the most traded price in that year. So this was a yearly profile, and you see what happened at the beginning of the year in 2021. So this is 2021. So beginning of 2022, we break out, we come test this, and then we tank. So we still have not yet tested 2020's point of control. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to bring it down here. And this is ultimately where I see the market coming down into when it does, or if it does, make some type of capitulation move to the downside. I think we will see, similar to how we saw here, how we get this break of structure, but it really just taps into volume and then it goes the other way. I will be looking for that exact same thing here, where we break this structure, and then I would be expecting this to go the opposite way. So that's kind of still what I'm looking for on Bitcoin. I'm still looking at these levels, and not just for no reason. There's a great reason for that right here. Also, you can see that the value area has shifted to the downside here. So for a while, the value was up here. Now we're coming down into this area. And the bottom of the value over here is right here. So this 31,000 price, I'm going to keep that on the chart because this is the bottom of the value on the yearly. Okay, and there's technically a little bit of structure here as well. Now, what we're seeing on the daily is we are getting major divergence, and if we get one more move to the upside, that's going to give me 3-wave divergence, and we'll go look and see when the market does that how successful it is versus how not successful it is. But we're going to make this, I need to make this a little darker so I can see it. Right, so we're getting momentum waves to the downside while the market's making moves to the upside. If we do get that one more push up and then it kind of shows rejection, then that's going to be kind of a major reversal sign or a possibility at the bare minimum that we'll look at. But right now, I'm seeing let's go on to maybe the lower time frames now to see what we're looking at on Bitcoin. So we are currently getting a little breakout. We've had this marked up. I'm on a new chart here. I'm on backtesting, but on the other charts that we've had, we have this marked up, and it is a bullish fib, and we came right into the 78.6. This is kind of the level we've been waiting for it to get to. I'm not super sold on this just taking off to the upside right freaking now, but hey, I definitely could. I'm not super against it, but I don't think it's the trade for me. If there was a trade opportunity, it would have been off of the 78.6 limit order, and then you could maybe be able to manage that at this point. So I do think there's a possibility for this to continue to the upside. It's holding very clean right here. I really wanted to see one more pump to the downside before before it made this move, and we'll kind of look at that on this lower time frame now here. So this is this week's profile. You can see the week started here. We've started to move down this week. But what is very interesting is even though we have a lot more price here, the majority of the volume of this week is now shifted down here. So that's telling me that the bulls probably are in control right now, that they just brought in a lot of volume at this price exactly. So there's definitely an opportunity arising for Bitcoin to move to the upside here. Let's go to the 15-minute and kind of see what we're getting. Okay. So if this price here is basically our point of control for, and you can see there's not a lot of volume to the upside right here. Let me show that with this tool here. Actually, here we go. So this is giving you the volume profile for everything on the screen, right? And there is literally just no volume in between here and here. So here's what's about to happen. Bitcoin's either going to slide into here and then move up, or it's going to reject, do whatever it does from there, or we're just going to continue to slide. When it's in these low volume areas, that's when it usually moves pretty quickly. And at this point, it does look like this could have been somewhat of a spring. And I was looking for a spring inside of a spring, to be honest. So when you go on to these lower time frames now, I'm on the 15-minute. I was looking for the market to do one more pump here, breaking these lows, giving me divergent signals, and then snapping back. Once I saw that, I was going to look for the bullish move, and it just didn't quite break the low with the move it made. It did the snap move, and then the build up, and then the breakout. So we should technically get this move here and then this move here. So that's something to watch for on Bitcoin. With it being at this macro fib level, and with no one knowing what could happen, this does look like a possibility of a little bit of accumulation, and then we're starting to break out. So I think this is a very good idea. And then if you wanted to even maybe get a little, I wouldn't say risky, but if you wanted to try to see if this is more or less of a position, not to just take right here. And usually, I'm not gonna lie, usually when there's this clean of lows, the market does usually take those out. But with a break of structure here, yes, this could be a fake out move, and we could be taking out bulls first, then taking out bears, and then moving to the upside. And if that's the case, then we could just wait for this pattern to play out and then have another shot at it, because the risk to reward is going to be crazy. You can't be afraid to lose in the market, and you also can't try to predict every single move. That's what I've learned in the 5 years that I've been trading. You genuinely have no idea what's going to happen. So if the market gives you a shot, you need to take it. Okay, not every shot is going to be picture perfect, but this is a good possibility here with the volume being extremely low in between here. So if we do get this move back down into value, look for it to come back up, and maybe even if you are wanting to hold a position for a little bit longer, you know, this is a possibility as well, to where if you maybe wanted to get that position, you can still trade this as well to the upside. And it's still valid to trade right now to the upside. You know, your price is just a little bit off. It's still almost a 4-to-1 risk to reward. So looking for Bitcoin to possibly make this next move to the upside. If it breaks to the downside, I really think these lows are in jeopardy. There is this volume level sitting right here that hasn't been hit yet. And we're going to backtest and see how many times it has kind of swept lows out before it's moved up, or when it makes these big breaks down, does it always move back up, kind of like that. But this is definitely a good opportunity on Bitcoin in my opinion. So what I want to look at real quick is I'm kind of seeing this interesting look here with Bitcoin. We have a very similar look that I've seen in the past, I think. So what I'm going to do is bring up a second screen on the bottom, and we're going to look at that. So let's take these guys off, and we're going to put Bitcoin on here. And we're going to make the bottom one go to the daily, and we're going to keep this at this pattern right here. And we're going to bring this over to all-time highs. Okay. And what am I seeing here? I'm seeing similarities. There we go. Okay. Here's what I'm kind of seeing on Bitcoin, and I need to erase this stuff here. Okay. Oh, I just removed everything over there too. Whatever. All right. So this is kind of the pattern I'm seeing more or less on Bitcoin on the 1 hour, or even I could go to the 4 hour and it could still be pretty visible. So we'll do that on the 4 hour, and then we'll keep this kind of, maybe even on the weekly we could see it. But nonetheless, I think we're seeing a similar pattern here, where we have kind of a run up from a market, you know, just a big run up and then a cool off. And so here we are here with a run up and then a cool off, and then we have somewhat of a market that makes this move up, and then it kind of winds, okay, and then it kind of drops and makes a valley. Okay, right here we're gonna do the same thing. Okay, we get a move up, we wind, and then we get a valley. Okay, same exact thing. This is a little different here, where we get an A, B, C. Okay, we don't get the A, B, C necessarily. We do get a move up that breaks the high slightly. So we do slightly break the high as well here. And then, you know, the pattern is just starting to look very similar, where we have down here, we have kind of a sideways action, and then we break down. Okay, we have this sideways action after the move up, sideways action, and then we begin to break down. Okay, and at this point, the fractal that I was kind of looking at is starting to get a little bit off. Not gonna lie, starting to get a little bit off. But nonetheless, if this is going to play out like this did, okay, we're going to see most likely this market continue a little bit to the downside, because and that would be, bringing the market down into this level most likely, because this is where this run up has started, and now we're back into, we would be bringing it into this level, which is like that 18K level, which is the next level of volume. So that would make sense from a macro perspective. If the market is going to follow somewhat of the same type of fractal nature that it's creating. If not, I have another look that it might be trying to create here, which is we're going to kind of look for it just like this. Okay. And so that's that. So let's go look at it right here at another kind of topping market, because I'm trying to see if this is going to be a top or this is not. Okay, that's not the... A lot of times what you can do as well is you can look at an inverse of this. So let's look at that. Let's do this. We'll go here and we will invert the scale. So now we're looking at it upside down kind of. And so we're looking... Now we can see what a bottom pattern looked like on Bitcoin to see if it looked like that, like from the top. So we're trying to find this pattern again, but it would have been from the bottom, right? Because we just inverted it. Okay. Tough to do, no lie. So I'll have to look more at that later. But let's get into this. Let's do a little bit of this right here. Let me get this guy off the screen. But yeah, that's the first fractal I was looking at. Is pretty much the main fractal that I'm really paying attention to. Nonetheless, I'm gonna play against it most likely and try to buy this this short move just to see if we can get a decent move off of it, depending on how it retraces. Right, so this is that move, and then I need to hit my homie up on about that. 2 seconds. Peep bitty. All right, let's get into it. So we're gonna look at the weekly first, because it's easy to see this on the higher time frame first, and then you can kind of work your way down. All right. So what I want to kind of look at is this MACD, and how on almost every top and bottom of this market, this MACD has gotten pretty dang close. It did last time, okay? We're started to give some divergence now. It's given a pop. I don't know if this is the bottom yet. I don't think it is, but let's go to the last time it made a top like this. Okay, momentum increasing, and then it snaps off. That did not give divergence on the weekly on that high. Let's see if the low did here. So the lows definitely did on the weekly. So the MACD here, let's see what we got down here. Did not give us any signs back there. There's not enough data. So weekly, it did pretty good. There's just not a whole lot of data to look at. The daily is going to be a lot more. So I'm going to be able to come back all the way here and kind of mark off all the divergence. And I'm just going to do it this way versus kind of doing the replay tool. I know that is definitely probably the best way to do it. But just to do it kind of faster, I'm going to do it this way, and just to look and see how it was looking. Come on, where we at? All right, is that really all it's going to give me? We're going to have to up the, or maybe go to a logarithmic scale. Come on. It was just, there's not a lot of price action there to really trade off of. Okay, but still, we're going to see what it looked like, even back when there was no liquidity probably. Okay. No divergence here, and there's really no waves to play off of anyway. So I'm going to bring this down so we can see it better. Okay. All right, we're starting to get these moves up now. And here looks like some divergence there. So the market, oh, almost divergence, not really. Okay. None. Okay, converging the whole way. So when there's no divergence on the daily, this thing just starts to go the way it should. No divergence. A little bit of divergence coming in right here, but it said no thank you, and it took off. But no major divergence has set in yet. None. Here we go. Okay, so now when this profile starts to come in heavy, which we're going to go ahead and just take that off and that off. Now we get the first sign of divergence on the daily where momentum did not make this new high, while price definitely made this new high. This is back in 2017, first bull market, and this was the first correction. Well, this was the first correction, but this was I would say one of the bigger corrections it had. Made a 34% correction when we had that daily divergence, and it doesn't mean it's going to turn around. It just means it's going to correct and cool off. And then right after that, you had a hidden divergence. So that's a bullish hidden divergence. Let's go and see when the next time we saw some divergence on Bitcoin. None right here. Wave up. A little baby divergence right here with these waves where we kind of equal the move on the momentum, and this makes a new high. We do get a correction again, but that's not the best example of, divergence, but I will just leave it here. Definitely not the best example by any means. But okay, let's see the next time we get some momentum divergence. Okay, here's the next one. So far it hasn't really failed when there is, good waves in between. So we get another move up and then deep correction. So every single time so far there has been divergence. It has given a correction. This is a weak divergence again, but there is still a correction. So we have momentum equaling and price making new highs. That's a snap. Boom. Okay, let's continue. And this is daily divergence. This does not happen often. You do not get many trades off of this by any means, but when you couple this with the lower time frames, you get a really good risk reward. You get a really good opportunity. There wasn't any divergence here. This made a lower high, and so did this. So now we can start to look kind of for it to flip to the bullish divergence even, but we're kind of looking for bearish divergence right now. This made a flat move here, and then this kind of gave this signal like, hey, this wave is done for. Even right here, we get these 3 moves down, and then this is flat, kind of signaling it. Took a while, but it signaled it. Reversal. Here we go here with the waves, and you got to look at waves. It's not just this small price action right here. I'm not counting no divergence like this. If the price went up, down, then up, it would be different. We have some divergence here. Let's see. In between these waves, there's not a whole lot to choose from, but on lower time frames, you would see this type of divergence as well. And this would be like, I wouldn't look to play this unless the lower time frames gave it to me as well, like I said. Here we go again, where we have kind of a flat market, and the momentum is picking up. It didn't give a big deep correction here, so that would be almost one that failed, and that's the first one. and it failed in a big way, and that's okay. Again, this isn't much in between for me to count this bullish divergence right here. It's not a whole lot in between right here, but nonetheless, it definitely signaled it, and then this is kind of like what the market looks like right now on the 1 hour in a way. We're getting this big break, and if it goes sideways, probably going to go up again. Let's see, divergence. None here. Momentum's continuing to go up. I mean, technically, there's just a little bit probably on the lower time frame there, but the wave isn't. It's too choppy, right? The choppier the waves are, the more consolidation it is, and the more of a battle it is. So the easier it kind of is for these bulls to kind of just blow your divergence out of the water. So it's not always just good to trade divergence. You have to kind of know the waves of the market as well. I would say no divergence here. There is a little bit here as the market made a little clean wave, equal lows there, and we have this push there. None there. There was a little bit right here where this market did a fake out to the downside, and that fake out said no thank you. Even the volume was fake. It was more than this but less than that, so even the volume gave the divergence, and then boom, picked up, corrected, ultimately failed again. Here's another divergence move where we kind of are flat here, and the wave is coming up. So it's giving it away a lot of the time on Bitcoin. The daily divergence gives it away, I would say more than 80% of the time. You just have to be patient with it sometimes. So I'm going to continue to mark it off. We're in 2020, so I'll be done soon. Here would be no, that made a new high. Never mind. Here's a play that might have failed a little bit. Okay, so we get this move up. Excuse me. We get this move up a little bit here, and then momentum moves down, and it doesn't correct a whole lot. It does give, somewhat of a correction, I guess. Maybe as much as it. I like to look at that sometimes. Like, if you sold off this candle, did it give you as much as what the candle was at least? And probably not. So this one might have been another fail. That's 2 fails out of. I'll go back and count all these lines. Here's a good, well, not a great one, but market did kind of make a pattern. That's another thing when you're trading divergence. Wait for patterns to occur, and you will get a better result. Okay, this was just a little rising wedge and breakout type retest move, and good play there. Okay, no divergence coming up on these moves. I know that's for sure. Let's see. Actually, let's see. We have a little bit of a divergent play right here where the market pops up, makes a new high, and momentum does not. It does give a correction, so that's good. And when you're trading divergence, I genuinely wouldn't look for a big reversal unless you are at a very top of a market and you have distribution. Like, you need to have a lot in order to really try to take divergence trades, in my opinion. Here would be an area where the divergence started to really show on Bitcoin. Okay, so we made this big move up. And then right here, it did not really equal that. Or it equaled the momentum. Price did not equal. It made new highs. Again, we get this move up. Price makes a new high. Momentum makes new low. Or new higher low, right? Same thing. Price makes a new high here. And we get this move here. So it gave it away pretty much the whole time. The momentum was just slowing down as price was just going up and up and up. And then it rolls to the downside. Big roll, big, move down. We all know about that move. Okay, now what we're seeing here was the market kind of rolls down a hair, but the momentum was saying like, no, thank you. We are good to go. So that checks out. Here's another kind of three-wave divergence play. The market gives a correction after this. Kind of took a little while, but it gave it. Right after it gives the move down, it says, hey, look, we're about to reverse right back around. Nope, it didn't. Okay, never mind. That one's my bad. Let's continue, though. We're looking here. We get a move to the upside, breaks highs. Momentum does not. Okay, let's continue with finding all the divergences in Bitcoin. We've had two that has failed. No, still none. Okay, lower low, lower low. Okay, lower low. Let's see here. So here's a instance where we're making a lower low in price and the momentum is equaling. So we should get a correction here. And this is one of those instances where it gives a little bit, but not a whole lot, and then it falls. A good indicator to use when you're trading divergence is a moving average. So you want to have some type of moving average or Bollinger Band or something where you can bring the market back into the mean. Okay, because you're trading a mean reversion strategy at this point. So you want to go and bring like a 21 EMA or a 50 EMA. I like using the 50 EMA, but that's just what I've back tested. So when you're trading divergence, okay, and say you saw this bullish candle after, you see whatever your entry is, okay? If this was it and you waited and you have no signal to get out, this right here is your signal to get out, that 50 EMA. So it did give a little bit, probably about as much as it would have risked. So I'll count that still as a win. And I'll just keep this 50 EMA on the chart. And this is actually where we are right now. We have some divergence here. And, in fact, I believe there was this move down that happened. And the momentum said, no, thank you. So we made this move back up. And now it just did this move and here. So out of all of these moves, we've only seen it fail twice. Let me go count these real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Missed one. 17. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 26 times. Okay, so we're going to look at this right here because out of 26 times Bitcoin has created divergence on the daily chart with my MACD settings. It has only failed to pull back to the mean twice. So that number that's wild. Let me see what that would be for like a let's see win percentage calculator. Okay, wins, we have 24, losses, we have 2. That's a 92% win rate, okay? 92%. 92.3% win rate. That when there is divergence, we are going to see a pullback to the 50 EMA. Very interesting. Very interesting. And so where we're at right now is there was definitely just some divergence. We just had some divergence here, and the market came into the 50 EMA. And now we're kind of seeing if the market is going to continue at this 50 EMA or if it's going to hold here and move to break here and move to the downside. Let's go on to this 5 minute and see what it's looking like. Oh, goodness. Yeah, so if you were on earlier, I was looking for this entry right here. I don't think we got it, but if you did get it, you're at 1-to-1 at this point. Your stop loss, if it was in here, I probably wouldn't have been able to play it just because of how fast it moved down. Regardless, and I'm just doing this. So, but yeah, if you're in this, you've already hit 1-to-1, so you can move your stop loss to break even, or you can still hold it. It's whatever, and see where this takes you. But it's moving a little fast down. So I would personally probably just move stops to break even if you're in this. But check out that wick. That's nice. If it does do what it's supposed to do, it's gone, right? It'll extend all the way to the TP. But if it doesn't, the next spot I'm looking for it to come to that I'm going to trade, really what I would wait for if you're not in this trade already, and I'm just going to go ahead and clear the screen. If you're not in that trade that I gave out at the beginning of the stream, which it's already at 1-to-1, I wouldn't try to chase it. I do see the imbalance here for the day, how the market's volume is still up here. So as long as this point of control stays up here, I do think we will chase this. However, it could double bottom first. If you aren't in like on this wick from earlier, I would simply wait for the rest of the Wyckoff schematic to play out, which this could just be a false breakout. I personally think it, like I said at the beginning of the stream, I thought it was worth a shot to take a buy here, which it would have been worth at least 1-to-1. But like I said, if this doesn't pan out, the next thing that I'll be waiting for is for this low here to break. I'll be waiting for this low to break and then the market to come back into this range. So come down here, break this low, come back into that, that will give me a lot more confidence for the next time it does kind of give a breakout move like this. I will really have confidence in the upside. Say we do this, comes back here. Say maybe you're waiting for this to break, right? You're being patient, waiting for that structure to break. I understand, because I like structure to break as well. But when you get a schematic like this, a lot of people think it's a bear flag. It is a bear flag, but if you start to study the Wyckoff theory, you will start to see how the big money uses these bearish patterns for bullish moves, right? So if we get something like this, and then we get a big move up, and we shift this structure inside of here, that is enough. We should see a build up and then a move to the upside. So wait for that. We have the highs here being taken out. So these highs are being taken out right now. If we can wait for these lows to get taken out as well, that would be kind of a really picture perfect, take your money, and then let's go. So that's what I'm kind of waiting for now on Bitcoin. I don't, if y'all don't know, me and AB have this account together, and he's the shooter and I'm the analyzer. And so we have one account that we be trading together right now, working on that. It's fun. But that's going to be it for Chart Talk tonight. I just wanted to really look at the probabilities of the backtest of divergence on the daily, and it's really powerful, guys. It is, extremely powerful. Like I said, 92% when there is divergence. Yes, it takes time. It is not necessarily the strategy you might want to look for day trading. Maybe not. But it is a very good long-term strategy that gives you that pullback to the 50 EMA 92% of the time. So that's it for me today, guys. I appreciate it. Y'all have a good night. Peace.